Hello and welcome back. I'm Shira Adler. I'm so glad that you are joining me here today on Synergy Show. Why? Because we love discussing all things synergistic on a mind, body, spirit, social, environmental, cosmic, galactic level. And my guest today is someone that I am a huge fan and admirer of, She Bear. Now, the rest of her title I'm going to let her give you as part of the introduction to this exceptional human being, rather spiritual being, leading the pathways for our human experience. Then you're very quickly going to learn about something really, truly special that is needed at this time. Now, some of what we're going to talk about, if you are new to this channel or have not been awakened or paying attention, might be somewhat unusual. So I will give you a few quick pointers as to what we might be discussing. If you do not know what GCR is, if you are not aware of the term RV, if you don't know what humanitarian projects are about, just listen carefully. We will explain more as we go. But welcome to the next ascension dimension. Hello,
Thank you,
She
Shira.
Bear. Thank you so much for joining me.
That's my pleasure. Lovely to see you again.
Thank you, darling. Please give everyone your full title so we can understand where you're coming from, who you are, and then we'll get into why we're doing this really timely, exceptional interview today.
Well, I call myself, I am She Bear, guardian and sovereign leader of the Kingdom of Britain, naturally, which comes from quite a long story going back, probably about 3 years, where I've just been eased by the universe into this position of imparting information to all sorts of people, mainly about sort of like the current situation, the as you said, the reset, the quantum financial system, and so on. And it seems that the things that I've been doing throughout my life have all sort of come into play to put me in the forefront of what I'm doing. And some of it you will find out as we go along with the demonstration I want to do.
And I do want to make a point of clarification. There's a difference, a big difference between the Great Reset and the global currency reset. So when we are speaking today, we are not talking about the Klaus Schwab One World Order level of Great Reset. We are certainly not discussing that. We are aware of it. We are the, well, duality and all wholeness. So we are the duality. We are the global currency reset side of how we see things at this planet at this time.
Yeah, we are certainly the sovereign and beneficial side of it.
Absolutely. So what are you working on? Because you are a fascinating human being. I know you from some of the work you've done and the wonderful Telegram groups. And for those people who wish to follow us on Telegram, I am at Patriot Plant Mama. How do they find your beautiful group?
Well, for this demo I'm going to do, there isn't a group yet. I need to create one because what I'm going to show you is hot off the press. You are the first people to see this demonstration in its entirety. There are little bumps and little imperfections, but perhaps we could put a link in the bottom, or people can go on to findaproject.com and can actually click on my social media links there once I've perfected them.
Of course, and they will be active. And you are on Telegram already. There is a way because you have multiple subgroups that exist under one Telegram channel. So if people have an interest in learning besides the findaproject.com, which is the link that we'll be using for today's conversation, if they want to look at and join the community for those having similar conversations.
Benevolent Project Community.
Benevolent Project Community. Yes. Okay. And they can also, again, if anyone has a question on how to contact you, feel free to DM me, find me here through this channel. Just leave a message for me on any of my platforms and I will make sure that we are connected, that they find you. But today we're really looking at findaproject.com. So as a little bit of background, let's explain perhaps why one would be presenting a platform and what kind of projects are we discussing?
Okay, so this goes back, there's quite a bit of history to this. About 3 years ago, I set up a group called HumaniPro, which stands for Humanitarian Projects. It was sort of an information group, and that's what the Benevolent Project Coordinators Group used to be called. That's another story. So it had, yes, I would run Telegram groups and I had newsletters and so on. And the HumaniPro was set up for two reasons. It was set up to notify people of the redemption meetings for people who have Zim bonds.
I think there's enough information about Zim and what people are calling the redemption process. Even if one is not familiar or involved with that aspect of where we are, they soon will be, because even if you're following mainstream news on an international level, you've noticed things like Zimbabwe just launched a gold-backed digital coin. So this is relating to conversations that exist in regular media and across multiple platforms that are talking about the changes for currencies, the BRICS nations, et cetera. So I think that we're just maybe a small piece of that conversation, and it could use a little bit of explanation. So let's go for that.
Okay, so for quite a long while now, obviously we're under the fiat money system where they've been able to just print on pieces of paper, and they printed and got themselves into a bit of a pickle, to put it politely. So they're looking to bring in gold-backed currency, part of the quantum system going forward. So the quantum is the all-knowing computer system, which is out of this world, literally. And that there will be an opportunity for people. Obviously, we need to change this world tremendously. We need to put in projects to improve everything. We need to enhance our 5 fundamental human rights, and a lot of people are suffering because of that at the moment and not getting their rights met. So this whole sort of reset is to change the way we are living practically, where there will be currency available for beneficial funds, and there are people out there that are already wanting to do projects. There are people actually doing projects. So the redemption was a method. Basically, if people bought a Zim bond of a specific series, mainly the trillion denominations, then they could create a project proposal. And then when the time comes, there will be redemption meetings to actually redeem that money for their project. So I've been involved with talking about the redemption for far too long, about 3 years now. And, the key is that people have got that heart-centered approach. They want to help people. A lot of us, we're quite used to living with lack of abundance. And so, if we do get abundance, we're normally helping others.
Of
So
course.
this is a way to filter out those people that are heart-centered, that want to do projects, and then they'll get some funding.
What's so beautiful is something you mentioned. It just really struck me. The funny part is I've always been considered a spiritual, more metaphysically oriented type of media personality, et cetera. It's the work I've done for decades, as have you in many ways. And yet I'm finding that there's now a new intersectionality. There's a new merging of people that would otherwise have been considered far outside of mainstream financial world and news, and those who are within it, or who've always existed within those structures. The paradigms, as they're crashing and crumbling, is forging a beautiful opportunity for the worlds to come together, as is really truly divinely inspired and meant to be. And now we're seeing things created. My dear friend Maraki Mu and the new alchemy system, the fundamentals under quantum mechanics, under law of attraction. But it's so fascinating because I'm more comfortable speaking with someone like you because we speak the same language. And yet here I am interviewing, and I've had financial interviews, and I've had a dear friend help translate what I'm seeing on those gold charts and the currency charts, because that's not my language normally and naturally. But even those people are now using what one might say are spiritual terms, understanding. We're seeing people like Wolverine and Mr. Trumptastic and people saying, no matter what, Charlie Ward, some of the people I followed, Simon Parks and Mark Z, of course, one of my buddies, just everyone using the same language to describe, well, it's like having a foot in both worlds, which I've always said that I have. And here we are at the juxtaposition of those worlds. And it's really beautiful when you see one of these straight up financial guys using words that you and I have used for decades. It's just simply who we are. So we are all talking about projects. We are all focused on humanitarian work. We are all focused on, as this currency reset takes place and unfolds, where are we going from here? And how do we connect to each other? Because there are millions of us worldwide, really millions of people worldwide involved, aware, awakening, caring, compassionate. And there's a lot of information. There are a lot of people with good projects. So how do we now jump forward to where you are, and what have you created to help us continue to bring our worlds together?
Exactly. And that's initially what the other side of Humani Pro was about, connecting all these people, basically having a facility to project organizers to list their projects in a directory, and then individuals to find them and either offer their services, offer to work with them, collaborate with them as a project organizer themselves,
Yes.
or donate to them. And it seemed that Humani Pro, it actually got hacked and died, and I was guided not to resurrect it, because it wouldn't be needed at the time. And so more recently, and obviously sort of people were a bit upset with that, I says, no, I'd had the term find a project in my mind for 2 years. And more recently, probably a couple of months ago, there was this special offer on a directory system that can be used. And I thought, that is actually better than how I created it in the Humani Pro. And it was such a bargain. I thought, yep, you're calling me, universe, I take the hint, let's go for it. So I have created an online directory called Find a Project. And if you'll allow me to share it.
Please do.
Brilliant. So here we go. It's called findaproject.com. Right, this is the first page. It is, because I had the experience with hacking, it is tied down quite strictly with logins and so on. So only those serious people will want to sort of be bothered with registering and logging in and so on. So that's one level. I've kept security in my mind. So the first page comes up, you've got the login, you've got this login screen, and you register if you haven't logged in before. And we've got how it works. At the top, we've got contact us, member project login, and list your project today. So I'm going to go through and talk about just plain individual who wants to have a look at the system. So initially, then I'll go into the other side of it. So as I said, there's 2 ways to use this website. You can use it as a searcher. You've got full access provided. You can search by the location or the type of project, and then you have a facility to message them very safely. For the project organizers, there's no email addresses, there's no telephone numbers on the system for people to sort of message and mess around with, or put it in their database to send them spam and so on. So you can join to sort of message the people, the organizers, offer your services, perhaps offer donations, or, you can collaborate with other projects, or just noticed a typo there. Brilliant. So as a project organizer, you've got 2 different levels of membership plan. Yes, it is a paid membership site. It's only very cheap. It's a nominal fee for a year. And again, that's to cut out the people that want to cause disharmony on my website. Okay, so as a project organizer, people can find you and offer services, they can offer donations and so on. So let's go in as a viewer. Okay, so I'm going to log in.
Very simple, very easy to understand, which I appreciate. Sometimes widest, most expansive minds create systems that are a little less navigable than this one. So I like this is very user friendly.
I always subscribe to the KISS method.
As do I. My late
Keep
mother
it
used to say that.
simple systems.
Oh well, my mother said it differently, but yes.
Exactly. I'm just being polite for
Oh, it was
this.
very politely
So
said.
you log in and I've got this is a test searcher. You've got your little dashboard of information about you and so on. And as a searcher, it's just minimal information. You can upgrade to become a project organizer and then pay for the project organizer listing facility. But this just keeps it simple. So I can go to the project directory and then I can see, oh, look, these are just samples at the moment. The Kingdom of Britain is a real live one. And you've always got ways to search. Some of these may change. I don't necessarily have a newsletter yet. So we can go, let's have a look at the Kingdom of Britain. Now that's another group that I run. They are the project coordinators for the UK. So we have, or for what I call the Kingdom of Britain. So we can have a look and see what the Kingdom of Britain does. So let's go and view the listing. So we can see here about the Kingdom of Britain. We help project organisers in the Kingdom of Britain with project templates, advice and consultancy, connection to other projects, service providers, and possibly funding. So me as a project organizer has put in this information. So, people, all over the world can put their information in here. Unfortunately, when you say you're in Britain, it just tags you. The maps aren't all that accurate, but obviously projects that might be, say, for example, in London or in a small town, you don't have to actually put your actual address. You can choose where you want your pin pointed, as it were. So if we go to specialities here, we can say that we are project coordinators, and there are various categories you can choose. From. So we would have things like water and marine. We've got communities, we've got health projects and so on. And that's something I can show you when we go into the other side. So from the Kingdom of Britain here on specialities, we can see their project coordinators. We can see, oh, there's a job going. So we want volunteer area project coordinators. So each of our areas needs a coordinator. And we have a few, well, we have about 15 at the moment. So, but every little helps. So with that, you can, this is what project organizers will be able to do. You can click on view more and, the details will come up of the vacancies that are available. So that gives a bit more of an overview about what the job involves and so on.
That's wonderful. In essence, you're also creating a job board. I mean, I know that for myself and my team, I've been holding sort of unofficial interviews, trying to find out what do you love, where do you see yourself fitting in, what is your passion, what drives you. You're now taking that into a form where people can list themselves and list as part of projects and find jobs connected to these projects, which is so fabulous. I love this a lot. Really.
Exactly. This is the part. My big thing in my life is being a connector and an enabler of people. So this will enable people so they can read that and think, oh yeah, I quite like that. So most times you can contact just by clicking on the contact button, and it's a simple form. There's always tick boxes because then that siphons out the robots and so on. And then with this one specifically, I've got an application form. So obviously only the right people. So do you know what RV stands for? Do you know what QFS stands for? Do you know what GASARA stands for? And of course, and then they go through and they put their information in. So yep, it is to get those people into the teams. It's just
Excellent.
it just makes
It's
my
very
heart pound.
simple, but it really, really is it's just specific as to what we need and how we need to language things. And of course, language being so essential. And as Maraki always says, words don't mean what we think they mean. And as we drill down, in this case, these words, everything you've done has such cleanliness and beauty and intentionality and simplicity. Beautifully done. Beautifully done.
So if we go back to view listing again, so went through jobs. There'll be other tabs up here eventually, like, for example, regular news snippets, articles, and so on. And the fun thing we have here is a photo album. So I just called it MISC at the moment. And, you know, we've got photos of, we went on tour around the UK to meet some of the area coordinators up in the north. And then this is a group of us with logo on our cups. You know, we went on a little retreat in a log cabin. So yeah, so it's a bit of fun. It just gives that human touch to show that, yes, there are real people behind these projects.
Yes.
And, you know, it could be showing the progress. It could be pictures of your health center, you know, so then other project coordinators think, oh yeah, I'd like to do that. I'll contact them and see how they've done that. And, you know, I want to create, well, the universe wants us to have templates. So we can say, oh, well, that's sort of how I like it, but then I'll put my own flavor on it, because there's many people doing health centers, for example, but they'll all be different because you've got different energies behind the creation.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I'm one of those people, but depending on our flavor, depending on our geography, our backgrounds, the intentionality, it's going to be so beautiful and magnificent to see so many flavors of similar concepts. Really, I've never ever been a person who believes in, quote, competition in the traditional sense, because of course the universe is abundant, it's endless, it's room for everything and everybody in full form, because we are everything and everybody in full form. So of course, why would the expressions, the creative endeavors that we undertake, they would be of similar vein, they would have that expansiveness. By the way, I want one of those mugs.
They are available on our Kingdom of Britain website. We've got a few things, and I've done a bit of a play on words. Instead of "in God we trust," I've created "in dog we trust."
Tell that story, because it's very funny.
Yeah, and I had some people say, oh, isn't that disrespectful? And I says, no, a dog is a spiritual being, it's a being. So what I've done for some friends is taken a photo of their dog and put it in between instead of the tree. So I can hopefully, if I go on our shop on the Kingdom of Britain, one of my friends has a lovely pug puppy called Wilf. And so I created her, there we go, "in dog we trust," with Wilf on a organic cotton t-shirt dress.
I love that. I think it's adorable. And again, it's, you know, when you come from a place of light and love and connectivity, it's just understand there are lots of ways of expressing that. And this is just one of them. So that's very sweet.
Yes. And the good thing about what I've done with that is that there's some countries that dogs are considered pests, vermin, and so on, and not treated very well. But one lady, where is she, in one of the African countries says, oh, you know, after you saying everything about dogs and so on, I think I now want to get a pet dog.
Oh,
and
that's so lovely. What a beautiful
you know,
gesture. I mean, that is the point. It's about raising awareness. We do it through tongue-in-cheek phrases. We do it in ways that are subtle and simple to make people think about the concepts of how do we treat each other? How do we treat people from different places? How do we treat the creatures around us, the other living animals? So really, it's a very elevated concept that you're just doing in a tongue-in-cheek way. And I think that's very sweet. And it just shares kindness, consciousness, and kindness really about those animals. So well done.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, a few people, my dog is now on a plant-based home-cooked food. He does have meat-based treats and so on. But people saying, oh, why? I says, because it's actually so spiritually evolved that if he has meat, it lowers his vibration and he's not well. And, you know, he's a dog that I can sort of take to places and he'll spot if people have got a negative attachment to them or a negative energy one way or another. And I'm just going to warn you, he may make an appearance by barking because we're just having a delivery. But, you know, I've included my pet in this. He is part, you know, when we went touring, we took our dogs with us, you know, and we've got to get people to realize that we do share this world with animals, and we need to up our game with our treatment of these animals.
I think it's a beautiful concept, and that's why I just brought it up. I know it's a tangent to find a project, but it is part of the projects because it's part of the love and the light that you're trying to share through this platform. So now take us back through the rest of our...
Okay, so I'm going to log out as a searcher now. I've searched all what I need to do. If you are a project, let me go to if you want to join as a project organizer. So this, if you are a project organizer and you want to list your project, there's the two plans, as I said. There's £44 a year donation. It's keeping it simple. The basic plan gives you the basic facilities to get your project listed. You can upgrade at a later date if necessary. You get a multi-topic search. You can list in many categories. You can receive direct inquiries. You can view events, job and volunteer vacancies, and you can view the blog articles. But obviously it's just viewing of those. For the advanced plan, it's £77 a year. You've got more power at your fingertips. The advanced plan enables you all the flexibility of the basic plan plus the following. You can put in events. So you could put in event you're running, you know, an open day for your project, for example, or a recruitment day for your project. You can, as we've seen, you can put in volunteer vacancies. You can put in blog articles, have a photo album. You can display the phone number and you can display the website links. I don't know if people will want to display their phone number, but, you know, we set the intention. This is a spiritual endeavor as well. Computers are energy, just as we are. So we can set the intention that any information we put is protected by God's grace.
Truthfully, I have 3 different phone numbers. I have a direct cell phone, I have an app that has a virtual number, and I have a different number on WhatsApp for different reasons at different times. So you are perfectly capable, and if it feels more comfortable and you want to maybe take a baby step, then use like Talk-a-Tone in the United States creates virtual numbers, burner numbers almost. So please do not allow, and notice, actually be curious. If you feel a little resistance to that concept, then dig into what that might be. Where is your alignment? And, you know, we can clear that. So I think it is important that we start working through those blocks. This is an opportunity to say, am I ready? You know, and using that I am clarity statement, saying I am ready, or saying it with the flipping the butt. It's one of the mechanisms that Meraki has created. I'm a little afraid or tentative to put my phone number out there, but put the but in there. I'm open to an exceptional experience, but I am open to connecting with like-minded, protective, beautiful spiritual beings. But I'm willing to trust whatever it is, flip the butt, and then make the choice that feels resonant for you, because nothing can fly in the face of free will. It's all about free will, and you'll know what to do. But here are 2 really simple ways to get started.
Exactly. Yep. So we have frequently asked questions.
Frequency.
Why do we have to pay for the service? As some people do. Well, you don't get anything for nothing. And you know, if you don't pay and don't have that exchange, then the energy is wrong.
Right. There has to be a value to everything, and we have to determine what our own value is, and then look at this as a reflection of our own self-valuing and seeing it show up as that. That's how I see this.
Exactly. Of course, we've got maintenance, we've got the hosting and so on. And, you know, this website didn't create itself out of thin air. Someone had to work very hard behind the scenes, and that was me.
Exactly.
Okay, so is our data safe and secure? Again, another quite, you know, for me, I set the intention that things are safe and secure and protected. But, you know, for those that aren't quite there yet, yes, it follows the GDPR regulations. You know, there's tick boxes that you agree with things, and then it's got security features and the tick boxes that I'm not a robot and so on.
Of course.
And as I said, yes, people can upgrade from a searcher, they can upgrade to a basic, and they can upgrade to an advanced, or they can downgrade, whatever. And yes, the subscription is automatically renewed and so on. And it warns you beforehand. I can't quite remember how many days or whatever, but
It's thoughtfully designed. This is quite thoughtfully designed. It makes sense. And truthfully, I'm just very glad it exists. I mean, I've been a fan and member of yours. I was in Humana Pro, just as I'm in Love One Society, just as I'm in Insider Club. I'm in basically everything. I've been paying attention quietly. I do not often comment or post in groups to which I belong, but I've been following, watching, absorbing, and this is one of my favorites. You are one of my favorites. I'm so grateful for the work you're doing and for the love that you're creating it with.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'll just go into the back area of a project organizer very quickly.
I spend a lot of time on the computer and working in various sites. So this is really nice. It's elegant, it's streamlined, it's simple, and we have such a need state because again, for the people in our worlds and circles or holding our awareness, we are right there. There's much work to do, and we're going to need to find simple, elegant, appropriate, intentional, streamlined ways of connecting and communicating.
Exactly.
And you provided that. So that's great.
I'm glad you filled in whilst this was sorting itself out. I don't know why it's having a connection error. Oh, my user and password is incorrect.
See, it's being so mindful to protect you because we spoke. We put into form that there were concerns about connectivity and security. So this is just the reflection of that which we just spoke. I love it when that happens. My friend Meraki and I have a phrase, we joke around, say yar, which means y'all are ridiculous. We say that out loud when we're talking to the universe. When we have created something and it's reflected back and it's super silly or funny, we just say yar. This is a yar moment.
Here we are. So this is what our project organizer will see. And I've gone in as a high level, so the £77 per year option. And you've got lots of things here to play around. You can give people your QR code so they can swipe you and it will come straight into your area of the directory. And I've created, basically, there are, like the Kingdom of Britain, there are countries, different countries that are creating their teams. So I'm going to provide them with this facility, you know, and liaise with them, make sure they get their listings in, because not all the countries are up to creating their own websites, even though some do have websites. Yes, because I'm also above helping other countries get their teams together for their project coordination. So we've got sort of the basic information, and we sort of put in our details in there, and where are we located, and then the links. So yes, there's the Telegram link, and that's from findaproject.com. We've got profile photos, so that's our logo. We've popped it in, we've got that's all on there. You can change these, you can edit it, and so on. So these are the categories we have that people can, you know, go under. If there isn't a category, then we can create it. So there's agriculture, finance, housing and homeless, space and galactic.
That's wonderful. Look at those categories. My goodness. Okay.
Veterans.
And somebody, if there's a recommendation for something or subcategories, you'll be adding additional.
Yes, because throughout the system, there is a contact us. So if you need to have something in there, you can fill this out and that will go through to the administrators.
I love his participation. He has a lot to add to the conversation.
Yes, I've had quite a few very important meetings and they've sparked throughout, but it's something I deal with now. So yeah, this is how they'd send us a message. So throughout it's full transparency, full communication. You know, you can put in more details. This is for other things. Some of these obviously we don't need at this stage, but I've just got to remove them. And then about me, and that will be, the blurb about the project.
Mm-hmm.
And so on.
It almost has a bit of a LinkedIn quality in terms of that feature that you just demonstrated about uploading your CV or your resume. I think that's a wonderful offshoot that will become a very necessary thing. Everyone has skills. Now, for those who are leading projects, for example, I'm already the CEO of my own company. I've put together a company, I've started a publishing company, I'm an author, etc. I have my current existing brand. So I have certain skills that might lend themselves not just to my project, but to being available to help support someone else who may not have exactly the skill set. So I love that aspect because we can really drill down into all of the myriad levels of skills that we have and talents and desires to offer such to others.
Exactly. And there may be a skill that one project is looking for, and they could have a look through here and see if there's anyone who's doing a project who has that skill as well. And and a lot of these things with the uploading of things, it doesn't have to be a set CV, it could be a document, it could be their mission document.
Yes.
It could be their project proposal, but I don't always recommend that. So there's plenty of scope to put things up. So for example, as a project coordinator, I could create blog articles. So I could tell people, oh yes, we've now got our drainage system in here. We're looking to do a barn over there that we can all, play our drums, and, that's a community barn. So you can update people. People can see how your project is moving forward. We've got community articles. I'll work out what goes under what as we go along. And obviously, as I said, events. You can start discussions as well. And that would be discussions with other project coordinators.
I think another aspect of what makes this so beautiful is that there will be people moving forward who may not have their own projects, but the ones that are looking to participate on some level, or even the public. Eventually, what we're doing and who we are is going to be fully public. It is not really in all forms right now. And then you're going to be able to offer all of the ancillary services and servicemen and women who wish to participate. And they're going to look for new jobs, because as the paradigms come crashing down and as job markets shift, as economies shift, people are going to look to be, well, what do I do now? Where do I get another job? What do I want to? They'll have time to consider what is next for them and what feels most resonant. And here you are, it isn't just about listing your project. There'll be people who won't be attached to the projects who can still find a place. Oh, I didn't know there's a community center being built, or a vet shelter, or an animal hospital, or a wellness center, or this or that, a fitness company, whatever it is. People, regular people not involved in the RV, etc., and humanitarian projects can still find a place to serve meaningfully in a way that is resonant for them and their families within their own communities. So this is really worldwide. This provides a secondary service beyond just helping those of us in this circle right now. I love that.
Exactly. It is for everyone, because people, there won't be jobs 9 to 5. It's not needed. So people are going to want to be doing their passion. And, this is a big thing for me, empowering people and giving them, they are asking for permission to do their passion. Mm-hmm. And people need to realize, yes, it's your job to do your passion. It's your job to do what's, you enjoy most in your life, what sparks you, what gets you up in the morning. So this is an amazing platform for people to find where they fit into the ongoing communities.
I really love that.
And it's so simple. You've got little things up here. You can view your listing, you can view your Jasper, and of course, log out. And there we go.
And just absolutely blown away. Again, it's the simplicity, the elegance. It's very easy to navigate. It's essential for those of us in this GCR RV world or paying attention to it, but it really has spokes that are just going to touch everyone and everything, because
Exactly.
we're about to be a part of a very, very new and dynamic world, and we are the makers and the creators of those worlds. So I really appreciate not just you as a person, this beautiful being, but what you've created. It's so, well, common sense, honestly. It's what's needed
Yeah.
now moment. It really is. As I have myriad conversations, I have so many talks with people, and I'm reading posts all day long, and people are sending me information. It isn't just leadership, it's systems and platforms to help us aggregate this information. And what do we do next? You know, we all know what's coming up in the next week or so. We all pray so. But then what? Then what?
Yes.
How are we
Yes.
communicating? How are we connecting? That's why I work with you. That's why I love working with Meraki. You know, we have these beautiful projects and platforms. We are answering the then what perspective.
Exactly, definitely. Yes, yes.
So
And you know, we all need to be able to reach out and find someone to help us one way or another. And this provides the perfect platform. You know, they can go in there, they could talk to other project organizers, see how they've done things. You know, it might be that there's a health community and they actually desperately need a retreat.
I
So
do.
they can
Oh,
contact them.
girl, please. I need a retreat. I need a vacation. And we will soon have them. But there's a
Exactly.
lot of work to do. There's a lot to launch, there's a lot to discuss. So let's make sure this gets out there. Again, it's findaproject.com. The link will be below in the description. Please make sure, if
Yes.
you do not yet like and subscribe, follow my channel. Follow me on Telegram at Patriot Plant Mama. I will make sure to put you in touch with I Am She Bear if you are not already. And I am very excited about the what's next moment, because we are already in the moment. In fact, by the time you're seeing this, you know it's already been created. It's already in full form. It's just, we've already put this in the hopper. All this energy's been in the vortex for a very long time. And it's nice to now bring it into that tactile level. So God bless you, and dog bless you.
Definitely. Love and light.
Love and light.